people get to seven figures and then they start up like these whole other revenue streams. And I'm like, do you not understand that everything that you want can happen if you leverage your practice? Welcome to CEO Conversations, the private practice podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Mabra. It's time to show up as a confident leader to create a practice and life you love. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of CEO Conversations, the private practice podcast. It's Brandy Mabra, and today we're going to talk about why it feels riskier to scale your practice compared to staying small. And this is an interesting conversation because I'm going to 10x you today. So right off the bat, there's a book that I'm going to recommend where it's 10x is easier than 2x. What I love about that book is when you 10x yourself or when you 10x your business, you automatically see like what the gap is, right? And so even a few episodes back, I was talking about your team, you're rating your scale or you're rating your team on a scale from 1 to 10. And if they come up at a 5, then you're able to see the gap between 5 and 10. Same thing with business. And that's the conversation that we're going to have today. I get frustrated. I'm going to tell you, I get so frustrated because I think that it is amazing that everybody wants to have a 7-figure practice. And I think that a lot of it comes from just what we see online, 7-figure businesses. It's a very small percentage of people who end up with a 7-figure business. I know we have clients, and at this point in time, we've already shared stories from clients who are in that 7-figure. There's clients who have doubled their revenue almost and coming up shy of 7 figures. We have multiple 7-figure practice owners who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars more in their practice and $100,000 more of profit inside their business. So these are all great things. And I think that is so amazing. However, it is just the tip of the iceberg. And so where I get frustrated is I'm like, oh, and it just comes from my experience. And so I see people and they're like, oh, I hit, this much money in 2025 and I'm not knocking it, but I always want to say like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Like there's more growth that you can have. And so from my experience and from my lens, I have worked in 8-figure, 9-figure businesses and, come from big corporate backgrounds and even larger practices where it all started with an owner, like one owner who had an idea. The story that I'll share, it was a chiropractor, a little old chiropractor who decided to open up a practice and model his chiropractic model and grew the sucker to be able to sell for $10 million. So, which is life-changing wealth. And so when I see some of the stories and where people are just hanging their hat on just the 7 figures, I'm like, listen, there's 8 figures, there's 9 figures. Like you can grow it. And because we are in healthcare, and I'm not saying that healthcare is not broken. It is. We have a broken system. However, the folks who really can change the game are the ones who think outside the box and the ones who come from a place of, let me really grow it to make an impact. Let me really grow it to where it can be life-changing. Let me really grow it to do something different within my community or with what I can leave as legacy. What I can sell for life-changing money for my family when it comes to wealth. And I just think that is just an amazing opportunity. And what also frustrates me is people get to 7 figures and then they start up like these whole other revenue streams. And I'm like, do you not understand that everything that you want can happen if you leverage your practice, right? And so some of the work that we're doing inside of Private Practice CEO is for the 7-figure practice owners that I am working with, we're working on getting them to 8, right? And so I like that number. I like 8 figures. I like 9 figures because I know it's possible and because I've seen it. So I don't want to just talk to the $1 million mark. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think that's amazing, but because we are in healthcare and because there's so much more opportunity because it's healthcare, then the sky's the limit. Like the sky's the limit. And so part of what happens and why people don't scale is because of when I think about where I'm at this stage of business growth. And so if you are at multi six and you're like, well, 7 figures is game changing, right? And then if you're at 7 and you think like, well, what would it look like for me to go from 1 million to 10 million? Sometimes you can't see it, right? And so for me, it's easier to talk about it because I've seen it and I've been in it and I know what's possible. And so with this, it's easier for you not to think that, and it's easier for you to hang your hat on, well, I'm good. I'm good staying small. To go bigger feels riskier. To go bigger, you have to implement a different type of strategy. We have clients inside of Private Practice CEO that are buying other practices. That's part of their scaling strategy. I think that's amazing. And so there's so many opportunities that if you want to do something different, then you can, but it also takes you 10xing what the action could be, or fully stepping into that vision and then recognizing what's possible for you. So I know some folks are probably listening to this like, Brandy, I already got problems happening in my practice. Like, you sound like a crazy lady. Like, why would you even talk about, like, I'm barely hanging on. I'm already working 100 hours a week. And now you're telling me, go make 8 figures, go make 9 figures. Like, screw you. And if that's you, I hear you. I really do. But what I also know is that when you get to that level of growth, you have, hopefully, I'll say if you come inside Private Practice CEO, I got you. Or if you come and work with me in any kind of capacity, I got you. But I will say that if you have the right team, if you're leveraging your team, actually when you get up to that level, your practice becomes easier because you have leaders who can help you. You are able to delegate responsibility. You are able to move differently because you don't have to be the one who, a couple episodes, like, you don't have to be the one who's holding the bag. Like, you're sharing all of that responsibility. And because now you're sharing all of that responsibility with great experts, then it allows for you to make real money. You can now go and do like a joint venture with somebody to make more money. You can now put your practice in a place where you can actually get more capital if you wanted to do another type of deal with buying a practice. Like, we have clients who actually go out and buy commercial buildings and have their practice inside that commercial building, and then they rent out the rest of the commercial building. Like, so much goodness, so much goodness. You don't have to be small if you don't want to be small. If you're another person listening to this where you're like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I'm really, really good. There's a difference where you are living in the vision that you have. And there is a place where you are like, when is enough growth? I'm at that place. I'm good. I love what I built. I absolutely have no desire to do anything else. I love that for you. This conversation is for the folks who really have the secret desire, the whisper of there has to be more than this. I want there to be more than this. I want you to go after what you want, right? Because I believe that if it's there, then it's meant for you. And if that's your vision, that's really what even God wants for you, is what I believe. So at the end of the day, don't settle. Don't be complacent. Definitely fully own what could you do. And again, because we're in healthcare, there's all kinds of ways that we can help people. I mean, all kinds of ways. From additional revenue streams when it comes to multidisciplinary inside of your practice, if you choose to go deeper, there's communities that you can build around it. There are great contracts that you can outsource. There are so many creative ways that you can definitely expand your practice to get to the level of growth that we're talking about if you choose to. I will say inside of Private Practice CEO, what I do love is that we have innovative practice owners, and they are not just sticking to the norm. They absolutely, honestly don't want to stick to the norm. They understand that we have to show up different in this market. We have to do something different with our practices. We have to do something different within our specialty. So they're being innovative. They're not being the Blockbuster of industry. They are being the Netflix, or they're being the Amazon, or they're being, at this point in time, the ChatGPT. Like, they're looking at something and they're thinking, how can I do something different? How can I take the practice experience and the patient experience and expand on it? How can I go deeper when it comes to the quality of care that we're providing and the impact that we're making? And I think that is amazing. So I'm not saying that money is going to fix everything. It's not. Like, I recorded a whole episode about how more money will not solve your problems. This is a practice. When I say 8 figures, this is the practice that is sustainable, that is efficient. This is a practice that has well-oiled systems and an engaged team. And so this is honestly the work that I do with the clients that I work with. So we are going from multi-6 to 7, from 7 to 8. And making sure that they have the team that's going to be able to get them there, making sure that the operations make sense, making sure that they are taking the time that they need so they can make good CEO judgment. And if you are any way like, oh, I want to practice like that, then I would love for you to join me for my next Own Your CEO Status Masterclass. So it's 60 minutes, it's free. And these are the types of conversations that we have. So it's a really great way for you to get the mindset reset in order for you to step into the CEO identity that type of practice would require for you to have. And to also understand what does that look like for your industry or your specialty or for where you're at in your business stage of growth. So this masterclass is for folks who have an established practice with a team. So if you do not have an established practice with a team, this probably isn't the best use of your time. But for you, if you are really in a place of, I want to grow my practice to the next level, and I want to be able to engage my team along the way, and I want to own my CEO status, then go ahead and see the show notes and sign up for the Own Your CEO Status Masterclass today. All right. So I 10x'd you. I hope I 10x'd you, and I hope you're not mad. Or I hope you don't think I'm like coming from La La Land, because I promise you, like I said, I've seen it. I've been part of it. I've helped with the merger of it and the acquisitions and selling of it, like all of it. And so I just would not be doing you any favors if I just continued to be like, oh, you get to 7 figures and you hang your hat. No, that's step 1. That is step 1. So that's it. So thank you so much for listening, and make sure you check out the masterclass, and I'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Bye. Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and it empowers you as the CEO of your practice. If you enjoyed the podcast, please make sure you subscribe, share the message, and leave a review. If you want more information and support in growing and scaling your practice, click the link in the show notes to take advantage of our free resources or apply to work with me directly. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.